The Tan family was made up of a couple, and they had 4 children with ages ranging from 5 to 10 years old. So all the children were very young during the time of this incident. And this is the really brutal and sick part. All 4 of the children were found slashed and hacked to death with their bodies stacked on top of each other in their apartment. And this all happened while their parents, Tan and Mei Ling, were at work. The police said it was just a weird case because they were like stacked on top of each other, like someone put them there.
Okay.
So yeah, the police interviewed hundreds of suspects, but unfortunately this case still remains unsolved.
So there was no one home at all?
So during the time of the incident, the parents, which I'll get into like what they did, they were at work. And they left their kids at home, but it's only because they went to work for like a very short amount of time each day. It's insane though, because I'm assuming whoever murdered them like took a DNA bath, right, in their blood. And somehow they went unnoticed, like because they lived in an apartment complex, and somehow they went unnoticed to other residents and just like people outside. So they really did plan it out like thoroughly, the police said. But it's crazy because the police found blood in the kitchen sink, but it was the kids' blood, so they like washed up and stuff before they left. They were in charge of a bus service which drove students to school every morning, and so they left early every morning, and particularly on this day, they had left at 6:35 a.m. So Mei Ying, which was the mother, she called her children around 7 a.m. So they left for work at 6:35. She called them at 7 to make sure they were awake, but nobody answered the call. Each kid had at least 20 slash wounds.
Jesus.
So it was like a brutal murder. Like whoever did this hated these people.
It's for sure one person?
Well, I mean, they don't know because it's still unsolved, but they think it was one person, yeah. So right off the bat, like I said, what gets me is the time frame. Whatever happened within this 3-hour time span. So clearly whoever did this knew the schedule and knew that like nobody would be home and like was probably close with the family.
A lot of the initial speculation on the airport being suspicious itself is because it costs so much extra money that a lot of people were like, well, there must be other things that we're not seeing, and that must be the reason why they put all this extra money into this place.
Especially if they had like a baggage system, whatever. Yeah. I'm assuming like they didn't have everything up to date, so like where else would it have gone to?
And if a lot of the publicity was negative at first, then that's going to make more people being like, well, if I'm sure a decent amount of it was taxpayer money that was going into building this place in the first place. So they definitely want to see the results of it, especially $2 billion worth of it. So there are a lot of weird and crazy kind of coincidences throughout the airport. Of course, things can be disproven and discredited, but there are like quite a few creepy things that appear throughout the airport. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is the dedication stone, like basically just the place that kind of commemorates the founding of the airport and that kind of stuff. And then the time capsule that they also have in the airport.